On tonight's OC Housewives, boobs change and not much else. It's the Real Housewives of OC at AFTERBUZZ TV, Season 12, Episode 11, starting right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Allie and AJ.
Hello,
I
AfterBuzzers.
didn't even know they were making music still. I love it.
Welcome to the after show for the OC Housewives. We're talking about a couple things that happened in tonight's show and a lot of shade and insight here on the panel as we are all back to talk about what's going on in the OC. You guys can find me on Twitter and on my podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. We just put out a big TV panel episode previewing fall TV. Check it out.
And I'm Blake V. You can find me on all social media at Blake V Media and over on the blog at BlakeV.com.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. I'm so happy to be back. Please watch my YouTube show, Your Time with Thomas. It's the best show on YouTube, so definitely check it out.
The best show?
It's the number one New York
The best
Times
show.
best-selling YouTube show.
There we
Exactly.
go.
Your Time with Thomas. Make sure to watch it.
Hey guys, Lian Castillo here. You can find me on all social media platforms at Hollywood Lian. And check out my YouTube channel this week at Hollywood Lian for some new interviews coming up.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just got so much for you. So much.
So much.
A lot of good stuff. We appreciate your support as always. And now let's get into the show for OC. Looking at Kelly, who's going into surgery for her reduction. It looks like she's going half a size from 650 to 350.
Right down the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, her boobs were enormous.
They were
Okay.
enormous.
When they took out what was in there previously, I was like, good
Huge.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enormous.
Probably
I
the
wanna
Hoover Dam down there.
I want to know that. I feel like there has to be some fan has to keep a tabulation of how many breast augmentations have been on the Real Housewives. How many times have we seen the silicone come out and the implants be slipped in? Now, if you're watching Dallas, you'll see that there was another whole thing going on about breasts on that show. So there's a lot of under the knife stuff going on.
What about reductions? How many reductions have we seen?
Yes. Implants, reductions.
Very few reductions, I
Yeah,
think.
very
Yeah,
few.
reductions are a few.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I think she was in for 4.5 hours. So
Yes.
I don't know if that's standard, but it's.
I would have gone and gotten a burger. I mean, he stayed in the waiting room the whole time. Good for you, because
Yeah.
This was such a sweet moment
It was.
of
I'm
my
glad
it was a
brought
nice
that up.
moment.
I liked it. He was being very supportive, and when they were talking about it last week, he was kind of giving her shit a little bit about oh, stay the same, like don't
Yeah.
don't take him out. But he was so sweet and supportive. I liked it. It was
It
great.
was super sweet. It was a really nice side to see him.
Yeah. Blake, I know you were really upset for Shannon working on that bike. I know you felt bad that she couldn't get out of it. And
I do have
Because
to say,
you know me, I have a lot of sympathy for Shannon. If anyone does, it's this one right here.
anybody that's on one of those bicycles, it really does. It gave me anxiety that I couldn't clip it out of it. Have you guys been on one of those bikes?
Yeah. I know what you're
have
talking
been.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so seeing her struggle, it was kind of
The worst was the sound effects. They put a creaking sound because she was on the second floor. That was rude.
Two things. Number one, those bike clips on those types of racing bikes are very tricky. I'll give her that. However, this one's stationary. She ain't falling over one way or the other. You can steady yourself and take the foot out.
That's
you know.
true.
Number two, I understand not liking spin. I get it. I don't like to run. Not a runner, but I love other activities. So Shannon, let's find something you do like. You can't hate
Spin is
everything.
fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, or let's hike,
Turn on
or
some
let's do
music.
yoga,
But it was
or
interesting.
let's
She
swim.
said that David, she knew that David didn't like that, and he bought it for anyways.
course it's
which was
David's
interesting.
fault.
Yeah.
It's always
because
David's fault.
it's always David's fault.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
You know what? Why was she working out in front of the camera crew? Turn on the music, and I would have been like, come back when I'm done, because I'm about to get sweaty and disgusting, and you don't need to see me like that. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Part of the
Shannon.
process, maybe.
Yeah.
The big reveal at the reunion.
Yeah. Well, we were trying to figure
Yeah.
out what was claustrophobic.
Yeah. You can't
She
really be
said-
claustrophobic if
She
you're.
said she was claustrophobic. I thought maybe the foot was claustrophobic.
Maybe the voices
Stuck in the
surrounding
thing?
her. The voices
Well,
she
I just-
hears.
She probably
Too
felt
many voices.
trapped. She probably felt just trapped. That's
Yeah.
probably what the
My
word,
life,
yeah.
really.
Yeah, there's a lot of entrapments in that house.
Sometimes life makes me claustrophobic too.
That's true.
I get it now.
So we see Vicki go over and say hello to Kelly. Kelly has a traveling circus of women visiting her. But before that, Tamra and Megan are together, and Megan prepares to see Kelly. But at this point, Tamra, we're hearing kind of for the first time that she's a little irritated
Yeah.
with Tamra. I mean, with Shannon for how she behaved at that event and just how her being so oversensitive and always calling her. And I mean, I get it. I can't. I get claustrophobic with people constantly on my ass. So I would get it if I had someone calling me morning, noon, and night about, oh my God, you know, when they joked last week, I put my shoes on or something like that.
Yeah, but Tamara isn't
Interesting
saying
to
it to her
see.
face, right?
Yeah, but I
No.
think at some point she should if it really ends up bothering her because it looks bad on camera.
Yeah.
'Cause
But don't
it's
we all
now-
love
She's
that-
playing both sides.
Yeah.
Yes, and only
Typical.
now she's saying this stuff about Shannon as there's a glimmer of Vicki back in the picture, right?
Exactly.
Prior to that phone call of wanting to meet up for coffee, she was like, up Shannon's butt.
But I think
Yeah.
at this point, maybe she's starting to know. I think people are on to me, and I'm really, really up there. I'm really up Shannon's butt right now. I
Really
really need to
far.
come back down.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's sort of a lesson for Shannon. She's in the shoes now of being the bestie to Tamra, and Tamra's a bestie hopper, you know? So it's like she served her time. She did, you know, what she needed to for Tamra, and now it's like
I call fake news on that friendship. Fake news.
Fake news.
the road's a little rocky.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see last week, like, sometimes I wish that Shannon wasn't on the show because then Tamra could make, like, her own decisions. Because look at how Shannon came to her defense, and Kelly was only downstairs last week because Vicki held her back. It wasn't because she wanted to be there. And I just feel like,
That whole thing was ridiculous.
yeah, it was ridiculous, but it was one of the best episodes this season.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
We need more of that, please.
Yes,
and
we do.
it comes up next because Shannon visits Kelly. And now we learn that Shannon is okay with Kelly at this point because she's shown remorse, and not unlike Victim, who has not shown her any
Victim.
remorse. So she can understand and get behind Kelly. I mean, I guess Kelly's been worse to Shannon. I guess Vicky's been worse to Shannon than Kelly has. But I mean, is the wound a little bit more fresh with the whole dinner at the Quiet Woman?
I think that Vicky's
Yeah.
been a lot worse, but I do think that, especially with tonight's episode, Kelly came off really authentic, especially when talking about Shannon. And she's like, "Look, I'm not in the best marriage, and I empathize with Shannon." So I could see them bonding about that. You know, they both have situations that are really similar. So I felt the realness. So I could see why Shannon is lowering the walls to Kelly.
And it was sweet. She went out of her way to go see Kelly. I thought that was really nice. And they had a nice moment in the bedroom, too, just kind of,
Yeah.
you know, showing
Shannon joking
support.
about being 53.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so interesting to see how far Kelly has gone in the past like 2 years, to see how she's really like played the game correctly, and now she's friends with everybody. It's really refreshing to see somebody
She
come in
has
and
played
do
the game
that.
well.
Yeah.
So Shannon still feels that Lydia overreacted with the way that she said that she was done with Shannon like that.
No, done this way. Done
Across the
this
neck.
way.
Yes, we have a very, yes, we've got this, we've got this. It's like,
Yeah, you know, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to say this straight up. These other housewives cities would not spend an entire episode with every woman meeting one-on-one, as the show did, reacting to the little bit of things that happened in the previous episode. I mean, they've got to cut these episodes or these episode
I have a
orders
question.
if this is what we're given.
okay, last week, I feel like I remember Lydia and Shannon having the, you know, going at each other at the stairs when Lydia was trying to escape. Then but I don't recall Shannon crying. And then this week we had the flashback to the event, and then Shannon's crying at the top of the stairs, like,
She
kissing
was
me.
sobbing a
Catch.
little bit.
Yeah.
Good catch, and you're totally right.
Right?
about
Okay,
that.
good. So as soon as I saw that this week, I'm like, tears, really?
There was actually a couple
Really,
things
tears?
tonight that I was very suspect about in terms to editing with Bravo. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, I'm looking at a show like Dallas. I don't mean to keep bringing it up, but Dallas had only like 10 episode order, and then they extended it because they had so much going on. Now this show should go the other way. It should contract. It still is going to be a full season because it's so many weeks and weeks. But we don't need all these one-on-one reactionary conversations. It's exhausting because half the episode turns into recaps of the few things that already did happen. Each week we have to sit through Shannon throwing that plate, which is iconic and amazing and fun. But I mean, after a while, like let's
It's the
keep
OC
it going.
table
I know,
flip,
but I don't
Grant.
think they should let it go. I just think every time they replay it, Shannon goes, "Ugh,"
This is
at
my
home.
plate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I just want more. I'm just being jealous and not just bitter.
You're being greedy, Grant.
Yeah, I guess so.
Greedy.
If I had to
all
sit
want
through all
more.
20 weeks of this, I guess so. So Kelly thinks that Shannon is taking it out on everyone but David, and that's why she's being so reactionary. And like you said, Lian, this is when she was like, yeah, I can relate. I do the same thing. I am in fights with everybody. I fight with everyone because of my husband. I just fight with everyone. I'm like, all right, well, I respect that.
I respect that too, and I kind of related to it. I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I do that too. I lash out sometimes, and maybe it's, stuff that you need to just sit back, stand back, and be like, is it really about the other person, or am I just tripping?
Kelly was breaking down barriers with that
totally.
comment.
I like
that was deep.
Kelly does that.
I liked it. And I liked how Bravo put the music in behind. Like, it was really like, it was a moment.
It was a
Everyone.
moment. We all
It
had
was
to
like,
digest that.
I like that,
take
Blake.
it in.
Yeah.
She plays the game well, like Thomas said, because it is a game, and she plays it really well. She really does.
Strategy.
And then we turn to a separate show on part of Real Housewives of Orange County, Peggy's life. And she's, with her family.
Separate show.
Deco
It does
is
kind of
there.
feel like a separate show.
Shaws of Orange County.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well,
You know-
yeah, she just hasn't assimilated yet, and you're probably...
Yet, we're 11 weeks in.
She's giving us something. She's giving us attitude.
I'm
You know what?
waiting.
None of the women are trying to clasp onto her, which is difficult for somebody. If I was coming onto a show and if somebody wasn't clasping on her, like she doesn't have a housewife partner on the show.
And that's the thing that's strange is normally these women get brought in like via a friend. Normally they have a friend that's on
That's
the
the
cast
rule,
already.
yeah.
So her coming in, I mean, I don't know if they were trying to attach her to like Lydia and Doug, but it does not seem like they are friends. That was a far-reaching,
Right.
association
we said
there.
this last week
Yeah.
on this panel.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm making the judgment right now. She's a complete miscast. I don't enjoy her on this show. She hasn't pulled her weight. I get that it's hard to come in and with a show with this much history and this many feuds and this many directions, but you've had 11 weeks you've been on
Yes.
all 11 weeks. So,
And I hate to say
and
it,
we're
too.
still watching her make food for dinner in her own house. I mean, I'm sick of it. Peggy, you're miscast on the show. I'm sorry, but you're miscast. If you don't know what that means, I'll tell you. You shouldn't be on the show.
What were you gonna say, Blake?
I hate to say it too, but the whole language barrier is really proving to be an issue, and I think tonight was a really good example of that. Them all sitting together at the dinner, the table, and I think Megan was the one in her little confessional straight up said, I have a lot of trouble understanding Peggy a lot of the time. And it seems that way. When conversation's going back and forth, Peggy seems like she's not quite getting it or not quite
She
on the
doesn't
same
even get it
page.
with her husband.
No.
And even tonight when she left the dinner table and it was just her that left, like, don't girls go like in partners?
I would
It
have
just
said,
felt
yeah, someone wanna go to the
it felt
bathroom with
very
me?
Weird.
But see,
you
that's
come
the
with
thing.
me?
Yeah, you know they're going to talk about you the minute
Yeah.
you step away from the
I
table.
know, that was
She
kind of
doesn't.
weird.
She doesn't have that though. She doesn't have that commonality
She doesn't.
or that
You're right. You're
sidekick.
right. She doesn't have that.
Do you think her family came on the show wanting to have something going on for themselves? Do you guys feel that way?
If they
Maybe.
If they did, I'm not sure it's going to happen for them. They're no Kardashian. I mean,
Right, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
and I might get some heat for this, but the girls, they're not like beautiful like Courtney, Kim, Chloe kind of beautiful. Sorry.
Well,
What I don't understand.
But they're
is-
educated, so good for
Yes,
you,
yes.
girls. Stay in school.
What I don't understand is that this Deco understands. He says he's an immigrant, but he understands and comes up with all these little figures of speech and terminology. And this one has not a clue what's going on. So I don't understand. Where's the difference? Like, where did this one go wrong, and the other one is so in touch with American culture? I just don't.
That's what I'm saying.
understand
She's
it.
Yeah.
like when her husband throws out jokes, sometimes she doesn't even get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she'll throw out something. He's like, "What do you have in there?" She's like, "There's nothing in there." And you could see it in her eyes. She didn't mean to say that. She was like, "How can I get out of this?" And she was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't. I'll just go with it."
right.
Thomas,
Well,
what do you make of Peggy?
I really feel like I wish that she had a teammate on the show to kind of make me like her more because it's just so her and her family and there's not much there for me to really just want to see her every single time.
Yeah.
If she was like best friends with, I don't even know who she would be best friends with, maybe Shannon or something just really out of the box, then I would like her more. But on this show, I could do
I
without
don't
Peggy.
dislike her. She's given us
Yes.
a
I
little
don't dislike
fire.
her.
I'm with you, Lian.
I don't
I
dislike
like
her.
her.
She said something that was amazing tonight when she was like, Kelly's trying to do this. Next.
Yep.
That was incredible. That was like really boss-like. And she was like, next. Like very dismissive.
In front of all
very
the
my
women.
kind of style.
Yeah.
I love it.
Even Tamra noticed it.
Yeah,
She said,
Tamra. Exactly.
This girl has balls, and I like that.
Tamra, I think Tamra went with the game because she was like, I don't want to fight with her, so I'd rather join them than beat them. You know that whole...
Have her on my team
She was
later
like,
on.
I kind of like
Numbers.
Peggy because she has balls. Yeah, she has balls. And tonight, also, I just read it in the live chat, they're all afraid of Kelly. And it's true. That's also probably a reason why everyone's being cordial with Kelly. Because Kelly comes after you, and she will cut you deep. Even if she's wrong...
Right, she has
Yeah.
conviction when she comes after you.
She comes after you.
Yeah.
For me, I know you. I'm sorry. I keep.
Oh, that's
Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I think there's also more to come between Vicki and Peggy because they kind of started out a little, relationship at the beginning. Vicki was being really, just
Supportive.
exactly, supportive with what Peggy
But
was
it's
going
still
through.
there, though.
Yeah.
And it's still there. So, Vicki was noticeably absent from tonight's episode, but I think there's still a lot more to build between Vicki
I think
and
that's
Peggy.
what I'm trying to be clear with is I want her to interact with somebody. I'm not really
Yeah, but
loving
we're
the
11
one.
episodes in. I mean, come on. She still has these individual
Yeah,
scenes.
we're 12 episodes in, and these girls are filming one-on-one being boring. Like, I'm just, really over it. So, at least Kelly is, bringing it, and at least Peggy is, trying to get in there. I mean, you can only do so much with what you're getting. And if these girls won't film with her, and if she has no partner in crime, and they're just
then
not
what's her
setting her
in?
I
up.
don't know
Yeah.
if they won't film with her. It's Vicky they won't film. They don't just want to do any group activities in this show. I mean,
Well,
it's
that's what I'm
annoying.
saying.
But
I'm
when
not
they
sure
are
if they're just
together,
not-
that's the best. Those are the best episodes.
Right. But to your point, Blake, like you said, they usually bring in someone that's organic, like a real friendship, and I don't believe, like you don't believe, about the whole Lydia connection type deal. So to me, it's this is the cardinal rule of casting, and everyone said it. It's all over online. It's how to become a housewife and all this nonsense. It's you have to be organically connected to the canvas of the cast, and it's why are we making this mistake with the 100th housewife on season 12 of a reality show? It just doesn't happen. It's not happening for me. At least for me, I'm not enjoying it.
Well,
I think
there's
this whole
definitely going to be a
cancer
shakeup.
thing.
Don't
Yeah,
you
this
think-
whole cancer thing for the next episode. I think. Is,
This can be done in 10 minutes.
I just don't want to do another cancer game.
Yeah.
Really? I don't want to hear the word cancer anymore at all on the show.
No, but I like
It's
how...
up there with freaking Munchausen.
yes,
True.
It's on
And
that level.
Megan this week shut it down though, and I like that. She said, "Done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I've got better
I
things to worry
retired.
about. I've retired. I'm not worried about this anymore." But freaking Shannon
Shannon
is
is reaching. She's
Well,
reaching.
she reached, but then pretended she didn't want a cookie because she was like, "I'm not gonna go there." But she's like, "I'm
She
really
goes there.
upset. I was at lunch. Why are you upset?
Yeah.
Here we
Yeah.
go. It's about Shannon. Me, 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 me,
Yeah.
me."
She does
like-
always start with I was upset.
Oh, yeah.
I was upset.
Here's the new question:
Yes.
Are you ever not upset, Shannon? Do you ever have a
Correct.
moment in your life where you are not upset?
This buys her another season though because she's been so dark this season that for next season it's finding her happy. I found my happy again.
Tamara
It
did
really
say,
buys
though-
you some time.
Tamara did say though that she's like, let's have some sympathy for Peggy. She just got her boobs cut
Yes.
off. So I did like that too.
Yes.
That she was kind of giving her a little bit of support.
I'm just so offended by Shannon's thought of being the judgment police and her
Yeah.
having
I wanna
anything to
get
say.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but-
nerve of her to even have a second of judgment on somebody else's decisions and then tell it to the group. Oh, well, she told me. Who cares? Even who
Right.
cares?
Yeah. I want to get into that. Yeah. I have
Oh my
thoughts on that
God.
too. Yeah. But before we do, let's talk about how Kelly and Megan, the only other storyline on the show, is now over. They're cool again.
Reunited.
Yeah, so they're fine. That was over before it started. And then Doug's vasectomy, which I'm so sick of this Doug's vasectomy storyline already.
It has been going on for far too long.
Yeah,
It's not a
was
storyline.
Like 5 episodes.
It's
It's
the
exploiting
nobleman
this man.
was the chunk, and now it's
This is a private thing.
Were you talking about Megan and Kelly?
private thing.
No,
the,
talking about
Doug and Lydia.
Doug and Lydia. This is a private
Oh my
thing.
god, I'm so over the
Yeah.
balls thing. He's not even getting his balls cut up. That's not what they do.
No.
They're still gonna be there.
I know.
They go behind it and they cut a little vein or something, right?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm no doctor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the balls stay intact, that's for sure. And okay, this is what I don't get. Tell me what you think about this. Lydia is so conservative that she can't do anything in this world because
Yeah,
she's so conservative.
exactly.
Yet she can scream about balls every single
the
episode,
time.
all day
Yeah.
long, talking about her husband. Isn't that like a respect
But
issue?
she can't
also,
even be comfortable in a drag club.
No.
yeah.
Girl,
No.
bye. Girl,
Yeah,
bye.
she's so painfully conservative, and yet this balls thing seems like I would feel uncomfortable. saying balls
And-
all day, planning a
and did you
ball
notice-
voyage party.
Selective.
She had a whole
Yeah.
ball talking party, and then at the end of the phone call, she's like, "Can you please not imagine my husband's balls? You've been talking about his balls for 5 episodes."
Yeah.
We're all
Yes.
imagining the
On,
balls,
that-
Lydia.
on an international television show. Yeah.
We're throwing them in
So-
everyone's face. What do you
She's
expect?
like, she said something like, "Oh, it'd be really bad if everyone was out and no one came for you or whatever. Like no one came to the party." Like she was so concerned about making sure these people had an invitation to her husband's party. It's like
She
so
lives a very like
stupid.
high schoolish type vibe when it comes to like her parties
Yeah.
and things like that.
And it's strange to me that Doug was
Right?
cool
Yeah.
with all this. Like,
Well, she brings
Well,
up high
I
school
think-
stuff all the time.
yeah.
She says the lunch tray. She says, "Are we in
Yeah.
high school again?" Like, she
I
loves to
really
bring
feel
up
like
high
she
school.
brings like a very high school kiddie vibe.
like a juvenile vibe.
This should not be a storyline. This should be between him and her. How what does he need that business out there about him for
no.
everywhere?
And wouldn't he
I
be
agree
like,
with you.
on the side, be like, babe,
Enough
we
with
really
the
don't
ball.
need to.
Yeah,
It's
can we just
okay. It's
stop?
cute. It's fine, but we're done. I
It
don't
was
need a
funny
party.
the first time.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
It died
Strange.
really quickly.
I agree.
Very strange.
Well, the farmhouse at Rogers Gardens. Now, Blake, tell us about this location.
Oh, yes,
I
so
know you're
Rogers Gardens-
OC native for those who don't know.
Truth. So Rogers Gardens is this beautiful botanical garden and nursery in the heart of Newport Beach,
Okay.
right next to the ocean, next to Fashion Island. And they have a delicious restaurant called Farmhouse just in amongst it. It's beautiful. It's a
When are we
beautiful
going?
restaurant.
Have
I'm
you gone
ready.
there?
I have gone there. It's fantastic.
Farmhouse, when are you having us
Yeah.
on?
I know,
Sounds
right?
nice.
I'm waiting for the invite.
I
to go.
forgot about Lydia because I was like, oh, they're all there but Vicki. But no, Lydia was not there. Kelly, Megan, Shannon, Tamra, and Peggy showed up. And so what can we say? We already talked a little bit about the drama.
Well, it's
going
going to be turned into something that Lydia
Well, is
wasn't
it
invited.
so? It was Shannon, 100% that did not invite Lydia. That's
Yeah, it
clear.
was Shannon.
Yeah.
It was on the
Yeah.
phone call. Like, remember she was like,
Yeah.
I'm calling.
together.
They're all in
people."
high school. I'm sorry.
They are. They're all in high school. They're ridiculous. Shannon is the most ridiculous out of all of them.
And it seems
No.
like they ended so peacefully when Lydia left, and it's you would have thought that Shannon would have gotten over it, but these women hold on to things, you know, like
don't have
they
enough
ended it
going
with a
on.
hug, and Shannon didn't want to be accused, and then she like plays this role, and then the next day you're not gonna invite her to dinner. It's like it's great for TV, but as far as like real life, like that is not the way.
She's very shifty, Shannon.
It's yeah,
That's her new name. She calls Vicky victim. I'm calling Shannon shifty.
shifty.
I don't
like
like it.
that.
That's a better name than
Shifty.
I had for her.
Oh God. I don't know. I have some compassion for Shannon.
You do.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can see every side.
Are
to
you in
it.
a bad marriage?
No.
No.
I have some compassion for her. I don't know. I mean,
Is it because of David?
a little bit, but also I think that the show has destroyed her life, and she doesn't know how to get out of it, and she won't get out of it.
She can't get out of it. It's
Yeah.
deep in
God,
there.
it's a train wreck.
Yeah, she's made it. She took the Tamra, class of you don't live your life around the show, you live your life for the show.
Wow. Well
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
That is so true.
So we were talking about this when we watched it, but Grant, what are your thoughts on at the very end when Shannon brings up the mysterious phone call that Lydia made to her, like apologizing essentially, saying that she overreacted? I feel like that didn't happen.
I don't think it happened either. I don't believe her.
I don't get it. Why would they? Because like a few scenes before,
They
Lydia
filmed
was
everything.
like, "Oh, I've left her house crying, or this is the third time I left her out of 6 times crying."
No,
so
you
why
didn't.
would she call her then? Wouldn't
She
she just be
didn't
like, "I'm
leave-
not calling her. She needs to call me. I was the one that was crying."
She
if that was
didn't leave
true.
crying. She left, making Shannon upset, which is good. Like, good for you. But I don't know why she was trying to play like.
Yeah,
I
and
think she flipped the switch on that one.
She should have just said, Shannon's dramatic, and I have to go off on her every time.
Yeah.
And I have to check her because she always has some sort of little attitude. She's always screaming
Makes it
at
about
me.
her.
She's always like, well, I'm just upset because you just dismissed me and you're done with me. You're done with me. I get it. Yeah, we are. We're all done with you, girl. So is David.
No, that's the thing with Shannon is that that's the thing with Shannon though. She has this rejection complex, and that's exactly what happened.
It stems from all that.
And so that's why she felt that way. I don't know. She's a human being. I get it. But
She
she
was
needs
such
to
a
be like-
likable cast member when she started off on the show.
She
you
was.
know?
She needs to really.
She
She
was
still
so
is.
likable.
Fans love
Oh,
Shannon.
They do.
You put
Every
a
time I
poll
do a
up-
poll
Good
on
for you
Twitter,
guys.
Yep.
Shannon is
Yeah.
always number one.
So let's keep that in perspective too. I mean, we have very strong opinions, of course, but everybody really likes Shannon.
Good for
still.
you guys.
I see it. I see both
Keep liking
sides.
her.
Someone in the chat room
Yeah.
is saying Shannon is the new Heather. ... Not a compliment.
Yes, Charlie in charge. We could see you. We could see all of you. Keep the comments coming in.
Yes, I
Let's
love
hear it.
everybody's
Let's hear it.
feedback.
Yeah, I like Shannon. I wonder if things with Shannon would change if she was okay with Tamra. I mean, if she was okay with Vicki. I wonder if people would change their opinions. Is it just because like we're loyal to the OG? And I'm there for Vicki
Yeah,
too,
we're
but I can
loyal.
see both sides. I'm wondering if that's it. If they were all cool with each other and it was just her complaining about her lifestyle and her
Well,
marriage.
we do see in the trailer coming up all of them sitting at the table with Vicki in front of Shannon. To the right is Tamra. Like, I cannot wait for this episode because something happens in this season. So we are going to get that moment of everybody coming together.
When they're in the bedroom and they're on a bed together, and Shannon's like, Tamara's like, you picked him over me.
Oh, yeah.
They're like on a bed together. Must be when they travel outside the country.
Yeah,
Grant, I
it's
wanted
going
to
to
say
get
this
really
to you.
good.
You said earlier, Tamra living her life for the show. It triggered something in my memory with the baptism and this newfound Christianity and everything. I'm all stuttering. Ricky was not invited to the party. Remember, she said, I didn't invite Ricky to my baptism, so he wanted to make my life miserable. Why do you think she didn't invite him? Because he's gay and her newfound Christianity
I don't know about that.
doesn't want.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Why, if that's her best friend, man of honor, why is he not at your baptism?
Yeah.
I really did.
Is it 'cause he's
That's a
gay?
good question.
I don't think it's that.
Well, then what would it be? Why not?
Could be a lot of things. I don't know. I just don't think it's that. I think it could be a lot of things. It could be stuff about the press, rumors, her daughter, him going around with Gretchen, a lot of stuff.
It just seems like it would fit right in.
That's interesting. We should get to
Really?
the
I don't
bottom of
think it
that.
would. What do you mean? What do you think it would fit?
Well, when
right
it comes
in?
to religion and all that stuff, it gets kind of foggy.
It does.
and,
It does. You're right. You're right.
there's people out there that still do not approve of homosexuals and the lifestyle and all that stuff.
Yeah, but then wouldn't she say I'm not doing Watch What Happens Live?
No,
I think that's
she
kind of
would never do anything publicly to say that. She would ruin her career. All of Bravo, it's women and gay people that watch the show. I don't think she would ever say that, but it could be something that happened off camera, like, you're not coming to my
Was that
baptism.
the first thing that you thought?
Well, I bet someone out there knows a little something.
I don't know.
about
It's
what's
just
going
something
on.
that
So
triggered when
I wanna
Grant
know.
said,
I think you need to DM Ricky after this and get to the
need
bottom
to
of
know.
I'm
this.
sure
about
he
that.
would.
We all want
I
to
don't
know
know.
now.
He would message me
Yeah.
back. He's that thirsty.
Well,
But it would be interesting to know.
So I will
Switching
DM
gears.
him.
Switching gears, I just want to talk about this guy. I made all these notes about when Megan asks Peggy.
Side note, just very quickly, we have someone in the chat room who said, I find it hard to watch Shannon this season as well. So we got one out there. I wonder if that is a more general consensus
Thank
of the season.
you.
Anyways, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead,
So
Grant.
I wrote all this stuff down because I want to analyze what was said exactly from Peggy's mouth about the cancer that she did or did not have. I still really don't know, but here we go. So Megan asked Peggy if she had cancer and that she tested negative for the BRCA gene. We know this.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we learned that Peggy had a 3-millimeter tumor, but and she said at this point, I had cancer. Then she told Shannon about the whole thing about the mammogram and how nothing came back. That was the flashback that you alluded to earlier, Blake. Then she said they were abnormal cells that could turn into cancer, and then if not removed. Okay. So then she had 3 millimeters of cancer that was found. It was pre-invasive. Was it found in the breast tissue that was removed? I mean,
Yes,
I think so.
I think yes. I don't know if she said it
Was that
specifically.
invasive clip? Was that ever shown? I don't remember that clip.
No, but they used it for.
What are all these random clips coming
Yeah.
up that we should have had in the episodes previous?
I agree
Very
with that.
true.
Yeah.
Bad editing.
But the doctor did say.
This poor season is just a mess.
It is.
You know what it is, though? What's frustrating is that I feel like Peggy and Deco should have had a game plan of how to present this to the world.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because when you're going on a reality show, if I was going on a reality show, I would know exactly how I want to present myself. And with this show, if you don't present yourself with, I had cancer, I had this, I had that, it just gives all of these women and all of these opinions that entitlement to just claw over
And
everything.
if you don't tell the
not
identical
clear-cut.
story, exactly. If you don't tell the identical story to each woman,
Yeah.
each one is going to pick out. Oh, well, she told me this. Oh, well, she told me this.
Even just when they ask a normal question on the boat tonight, we saw a preview for the upcoming episode. David asked Deco, "Oh, your wife has cancer?" And he says, "No." He goes, "Oh, well, she did, and she doesn't have it now." And Deco didn't even answer. He just looked at him like,
yeah.
Yeah.
"This
What do
is
you
why
guys-
people are tripping. You guys have to be clear cut." I don't even think it's about presenting yourself. It's about, do we have the same story?
Yeah.
Because
To each other, yeah.
people
yeah.
are gonna dissect this every single way. You have to know what you're gonna say.
What do you think maybe they should have done? Do you think that maybe they should have taken upon themselves to like
I don't
spread
know.
it, announce it, say it,
With that
have a
clip
party,
tonight,
have a thing?
I believe her. With the
Yeah.
clip tonight, I believe her what she was saying. I just don't think she presented it or said it the right way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a language barrier. I don't know.
I think a party would have been a good idea. They have so much money. They might as well have done
Yeah.
a recovery party or something.
Even just of the women, yes. Yeah.
Just the women, just so everybody's clear. Because like now where things are at, it's such a mess, and it's
Well,
never gonna be clear.
I don't know if that would have
Maybe
made
at
it
the
more clear.
reunion.
Maybe that would have even blown it up to something bigger.
And you're right about Deco. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he has to run her life or anything, but at the same time, he's a lot clearer with the language and just sort of like relaying information. So, you know, if he's going to be on this show and if he's going to be in the position to support Peggy, he could also be helping more to like
And
guide
I'm only
this thing,
and I'm
you
only
know?
this passionate about it because I feel bad if this is bothering her in some way because maybe she didn't
understand.
realize that coming on as like a rookie on a show.
Well, first of all, none of these women should care to the level that they care. She's coming into this like this cancer weird environment that probably she doesn't experience anywhere else in life. We just had
Cancer
Brooks.
police.
Yeah, we just had Brooks and all that craziness, and now the OC women have turned into the cancer police. So she didn't maybe know that she was even stepping into it, and she's probably thinking, "What is wrong with these
It's
women?"
everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like from Beverly Hills. too.
Yeah.
Like, everyone is a cancer expert, a Lyme disease expert.
Yeah.
It's
everyone.
interesting. But yeah, the approach could have been a little tighter. I agree with that.
yeah.
But nonetheless, we see that tease back to the doctor saying it was pre-invasive cancer.
Maybe they edited this on purpose. Like maybe they're just, I don't know. You know how
That's
they
what
are.
they think in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
They always make it seem like,
can,
you know, like
can they give
sometimes
her
they're like,
something
they're gonna
else to
fist
do,
fight.
please? Like, you know, can they give her something else to do besides? Did she? I mean, this isn't really something that no one wants to see this play out. Not because it's not entertaining, but it's
We've
serious.
seen it before. We've seen it before
Yeah.
with Brooks in this last year.
Yeah, and it's serious. I mean, it's like, don't put this on this woman, please. Anyway, whatever. What else can we say? So, Pace, then they talk about the 2-on-2. They were out last week. They were on either side of the bed. You had Vicki and Tamra, and then Shannon and Tamra. No, Shannon, Tamra, and Kelly and Vicki going back and forth. And then, so Peggy says that her only intention with getting in the middle of all that was just to keep the peace. And that Kelly tells her, "You are playing referee." And this is when I thought it was going to really pick up because Kelly gets in that fight where she says,
Yeah,
yelling from
she
the
got
back
into
of her
the mode.
throat. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was getting amped up. And then she's like, you're just part of the peanut gallery. And I was like, oh.
Peanuts?
Penis gallery.
What peanut? The galleries that I go to, they don't serve peanuts. That was hilarious.
That
like
was
that.
good. That
She's
was
funny.
I
good.
like that a lot.
So Peggy doesn't feel it. She was in the middle at all. In fact, she's like, no, I was on Shannon's side. I was beside Shannon to balance it out. There were 5 people on one side and I was on the other.
That just makes it
I
look
could
worse.
see-
When were there
what she's
5
saying.
people? But when were there 5 people in that room besides if we count the crew?
I think she was just like,
Well, there's
Seeing
on
things.
the left side it was Kelly and Vicki, and on the right side it was
Shannon and Tamra.
Shannon, Tamra,
And she's the 5th.
and she's the 5th. She's right.
But yeah, but she's
And I get what she was saying. She's like, I'm on
the
the right side because I knew if I stood in the middle, like literally, if I stood physically in the middle, you guys would have said that.
And
she
listen,
should have just laid in bed.
yeah. Just
I don't
cover
know.
her
I
face.
get
That's why
what
you need a
Peggy's
fun-
saying. But you know what, Grant? Kelly was trying to come after Peggy tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly.
Kelly. She was. You're all thank you.
Not because I want bloodshed, but I'm like, pull this woman
I
into the
know.
game.
You want some
into the
entertainment.
show. Yeah, that's. I'm not because I want to like take this woman
Yeah,
down.
and
You
the-
want Peggy to
the
be like,
doors
it's
down.
not my plate, bitch.
And the thing too is that Peggy is sort of like not understanding the strategy as of yet. She's still trying to be the middleman, trying to diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
Because that's what you do in real life. In
Yeah.
real life, you
She's
would.
trying to be helpful.
She's trying to be helpful, you know. But given these women, you're not going to diffuse anything. You're not going to mediate
They're very
anything.
territorial over their
Very.
stories. Yeah.
Very. So it's
Especially-
like you're better off taking a side or no side. Like,
like-
don't even get in
Yeah.
the middle.
I liked Kelly was like, "Did you go to UCLA?"
That was
I
funny.
know that was a dig for
Another
sure.
dick, yeah.
And then Tamara thought she would be funny by saying that was taught at USC. I didn't really think that was funny, but I'm glad she got involved.
Yeah, well, she did it
That she
because Shannon.
participated.
Shannon is the USC queen, has to tell everybody about USC.
God.
The phone
Shannon.
cover is
Things I
USC.
don't-
Like that's why. So she, you know.
Back to Shannon.
Yeah.
To Shannon.
So Tamra and Peggy, like you said, they had that moment where she was like, don't F with me. And they kind of recognized game. Could you
Yep.
say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
You could say that, Grant.
I
Yes.
totally
could say that.
I
feel
don't.
it's that
Yeah,
kind of
I
vibe.
don't think there's a contest. I think Tamra would rip her head off at that
Really?
table. Yeah.
No, I do agree with that. But Kelly, I mean, Peggy, I don't know, you guys. You just, okay, this might sound kind of weird, but I don't know, like cultured, like ethnic people, like we got it in us. Like, don't fuck with us.
I have some solid feelings about Peggy too.
Yeah,
Like, I think she could.
Peggy could bring it
She could stand her
out.
own for sure.
But I think
so.
Peggy's playing in the minor leagues because she hasn't had the opportunity to be exposed to.
Well, she's also
The major
playing the
leagues.
card of like, go ahead and poke me. You
Yes.
to poke a lot.
And it almost doesn't matter
Yeah.
that she doesn't know anything because she doesn't care. She's
Doesn't-
saying,
she'll say-
next.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that.
I'm imagining this dinner, and I wish that Lydia was there. Actually,
She's
I don't know
talking
why.
like
What do you think if Lydia was at this party?
I'm kind of relieved that.
You're relieved that she wasn't there.
Yeah, because it would have been more of the same. At least I feel like these women could talk. Like I feel like Lydia doesn't want anyone to talk about these things because it gets so amped. I feel like when you have Kelly on this side and you got Tamra in the middle and Peggy over there, it could kind of play itself out. I feel like there wasn't like a referee there, if I can say that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I don't think there was either. No one filling that
No
role.
friendship whispering, please. Can we be done with the friendship whispering? I went off on a rant last week. Like, we're done with this. It's not working. No one's checking for you to be anyone's friendship whisperer. Stop. So
Someone was saying Peggy was hilarious and made a fool of these women, especially Kelly.
Well, she did. She put them all in her place. She was just like, I'm not going to let you go there, but we want you to go there, Peggy. Why don't you just rip them apart? Go after them.
I feel like it will. I think some stuff is brewing. I
think once she
it's
gets
coming.
bucked up with Vicky,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know
She's
what I
playing
mean?
very, very minor league junior back and forth conversation with these
they
people.
all are.
Oh, this season, totally, yeah. But wait till they sit across the reunion and someone's bitching and screaming at her, you know? I mean,
Yeah, I think Peggy's
So-
gonna have her moment at some point, and I think it's gonna definitely be about the cancer thing. I think she's gonna be tired of these women talking about cancer and all of that at some point.
Yeah.
I would too. My lord.
The only thing I like about Lydia is
Beating it
that
to
she
death.
literally expressed exactly, not just how I feel, but she even reenacted physically how I feel towards Shannon. Like, she threw herself on the ground and she was like, this is how you are, my God, you're exhausting. Woman, please, like, can I go? I'm trying to leave.
Yeah,
I got my
you can't
husband.
wait.
You really, and Shannon's
just
like,
can't
but I
wait.
just get really upset when people.
Don't accuse me.
Oh my God, Shannon, have another vodka.
Oh, boy.
Please.
The one who never drinks. I love it. I love when they do the shitty cameraman and do the
Cue the
flashbacks.
montage.
Yes.
Vodka, 3 limes. Can I have a vodka, please? Case Azul, 3 limes.
So
Say Azul.
before we get into our predictions, which we're going to talk about Doug going under the knife, maybe he'll have to visit the good doctor. I don't know how to transfer this over to you.
He will have to visit the good doctor.
The good
Yes, in
doctor.
fact, we met the good doctor last week. There's another good doctor coming to TV. A new medical drama is coming to ABC on Monday nights this fall called The Good Doctor. It's the story of a young man with autism and savant syndrome named Sean Murphy, who becomes a surgical resident at a prestigious hospital. This young doctor exhibits genius-level skills and is capable of seeing things in ways no one else can.
Whoa.
The character's unique medical condition adds a new dimension to the genre. I get that. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I've
Like-
seen the previews for this.
Yeah,
it's really
fascinating.
great.
It's one of the most anticipated shows, honestly. It is.
Yeah.
Yes. It comes from the producing team of David Shore, the man behind the hit drama House, as well as Daniel Day Kim, who previously starred on Lost. So we got some good credits here. The series stars Freddie Highmore from Bates Motel as Dr. Sean Murphy, and Freddie Highmore is great. He
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yeah,
If anybody
good
watches
actor.
Bates Motel,
Oh, the lead guy?
the lead guy,
Yeah.
Norman Bates. He's fantastic. So that's like already selling it. Richard Schiff from The West Wing and Hill Harper from CSI and Homeland round out a diverse and exceptional cast. It's one of the most anticipated series of the new fall season.
Yes.
The Good Doctor premieres tonight on ABC with new episodes Mondays at 10/9 Central after Dancing with the Stars.
They promoted it really well,
Yeah.
as you did as well.
The billboards are everywhere.
The billboards are everywhere, and
Yeah.
like
Everywhere.
every like show that you watch, it's always on, and it just there's something captivating about the way
Yeah.
that they really rolled this out.
I love hearing a live read from Blake. If you live in LA and you listen to KCRW, you'll hear her on
Yes,
there.
Blake is
you.
killing
Thank
it.
you. here.
Blake
Thank
B
you.
Media.
I hear Blaine
Spreading the news to
all
the masses.
Hours, yeah, all hours of the morning and night. I hear she'll come on for your consideration campaigns, local things. I hear you all the time.
Oh, Grant,
All
thank
the
you.
time.
Charlie in
Thanks
the
for
chat says that
listening.
he likes these hosts. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you.
We
Wait,
like you too.
what'd you call me? A hoe?
Host.
Oh, hosts.
Only one of us.
Hosts.
Oh, we won't
I
hang
like
out.
these hosts.
We won't hang out with Jordan to
Host.
find out which one.
I'm sure it's you, Grant. You've been around the block a lot longer.
Yeah,
I
true.
don't know. I'm here
True.
for a
You
long
steer
time.
this ship, Grant.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long
I'm the
time.
new
I don't know
negative
if it's me.
Nancy. I'm the new bitchy sassy queen. Sorry.
Oh, Lord.
Sorry about it.
Well, let's talk about.
Sorry, not sorry.
Let's talk about some predictions while we have a few minutes on the clock.
Do it.
Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
Coming up next week.
predictions.
I really think that Vicki is gonna get her sit down with Tamra. You know she desperately wants her friend back. She always talks about this 10 years and this 10 years, and you can kind of tell how excited Tamra low-key gets when like Vicki calls and she's like, it's Vicki. But it's like, it's Vicki, it's your best
She's
friend.
like fighting the smile. She's like,
Yeah.
it's Vicki.
And she knows at this point she's gonna have to steer the ship a little bit and get away from Shannon, and or somehow find a way to get Shannon on board with this.
Okay.
Because you're gonna have to find a way to get Shannon on board, because there's no way in hell Tamara can be friends with Vicki without getting Shannon somehow closer to the ship. You know?
So there's no doubt in my mind that Vicki and Tamra are going to have some sort of coming together. In my fantasy, they're like best friends again
Yeah.
because that's entertaining
Yeah.
and wonderful. But if that happens, Shannon's got to get kicked to the curb. So who does Kelly go to Shannon? Do Kelly and Shannon
No.
team up?
I don't think so.
Does no one team up with Shannon? Where does Shannon go?
That's the thing with Shannon's position. If she doesn't want to do this show anymore, then she has a loyal fan base, but as far as friendships goes, it looks like somebody that could be removed. I know that sounds
She's the new
crazy,
Phaedra.
but she could.
no, it doesn't,
be,
Thomas. I'm on
You
that.
know, like I
I'm on
just
that
feel
train.
like people could understand why she left, but if she gets through this hard season, bounces back, gets in a great body, the business is rolling, they can shoot in there and shoot her pizza, her shop.
She's adding more to her storyline.
She's
Yeah,
adding
you're right.
more, and,
You're right.
and if Dave, God forbid, I don't know what's gonna happen with her relationship, but yeah.
Let us know if you
Yeah.
have an opinion on that too with our predictions.
Yeah,
Where will
I'll
Shannon
tell
go?
you my prediction on that.
Let's
I
have it.
think that this is Shannon's last season. I don't know anything, but I do. I mean, I do in the fact of that I think a change is going to have to happen on this show. People are dropping this show, and people are angry. I mean, you can even see the tone if in our comments in previous episodes. I mean, the tone is frustrated and angry, and this show is being held hostage by this feud. So instead of we don't have to wait for it to play out in real time. All you got to do is pull one of them off, and it's not going to be Vicki.
Yeah.
So, and at some point you do have to say, have we told Shannon's story? And I don't want to see Shannon go, but I get it if that's what they have to do to get the show back on track. Now, I'm a little disappointed with through social media seeing the hatred that Tamra has for Vicki once again. So whatever we get happening here is going to be lost before it even can gel. So I'm a little afraid about that. I'd like to be almost ignorant to it and just see how it all plays out at the reunion. But I mean, I don't know. It looks bad. I mean, what's going to have to happen? Do they let Shannon and Tamra go? I doubt they're going to let them both go.
My predictions is,
I think just
or
Shannon.
my predictions are, I'm right up there. Like, I really think this is Shannon's season of departure. If she can't get it together and find a way to coexist or film or be cordial, I really think she's the new Phaedra. She's gonna have to go. Everyone on New York or Atlanta, they were so fed up with Phaedra. I mean, she did lie about something crazy, but still, when no one wanted to film with her, they had to take her off. No one's filming with Vicki, and she's still on.
Yeah.
So I really think if Shannon doesn't get together, because you could see it in Tamra's face. She doesn't want to be in this position
She's
anymore.
irritated now.
She
She's
is.
like,
kinda stuck.
And she knows that she's looking not the best, being Shannon's little side dog, because you're not equal. Like, Shannon runs you. She calls you 15 times a day. You pick up every single time. You freaking, every time that something happens, you have to call her right afterwards and let her know. And Shannon's never thrilled about it. So I just really think Tamra's being held hostage. If it wasn't for freaking Shannon, Tamra and Vicki would have already been back together.
Yeah.
As far as predictions for the future, with all the stuff going on social media, I honestly do not know what's going to happen either. So I'm gonna go with the ignorance, and I'm just gonna be the viewer, and I'm just gonna watch. But from what I'm seeing, I don't like it because I really want Tamra and Vicki to be back together.
There is a chance for the show to turn around if Shannon just gets on board a little bit more with Vicki, because you can tell Tamra's ready to get on board. I don't really think she's that pissed about the Eddie thing anymore. I think she just is afraid to let Shannon know that she's gonna kind of go back this way. And you can tell it's like Vicky's just waiting for Tamra to come back into my lap. Let's just like whoop it up and be friends. And it's very sad that Shannon is going through what she's going through, and she feels like she has to claw and hold on to her friend, control her friend, and be so, close to Tamra like that.
And no one wants a friend like that, too,
It's
though.
exhausting.
It's exhausting. And Shannon, I think, is really setting herself up for a letdown here because, she's just grasping at straws with Tamra. She's just trying to keep her in her clutches. Like last episode we saw,
Yeah, that was so much.
So much. Too much. And she just was like, oh, Tamra's never gonna go to Vicki because that's just never gonna happen. It's like, how do you
Speaking
know?
for her, yeah.
You are not her, Shannon. You need to
You know
pipe
what
down.
Shannon is? Shannon is an emotional vampire.
Oh, to the max.
People that you're
like
around,
Razor.
that when you leave, you are physically drained. You're tired.
You're Lydia,
You
clawing
can't.
on the stairs.
All of your emotions and your negativity and everything you're feeling, thank you. You just passed it on to me. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's draining to have those types of people in your life, and you can tell when Shannon was calling Tamra, it took her a few times to get Tamra off the damn sofa. So you can tell that Tamra's over this type of behavior because she's experienced it before. So
Well,
we'll see.
yeah.
Well, they're
we'll
all better.
see.
They all better get their behavior together because Lydia can't be around people like that.
Everyone is saying how much Dallas is better than this show. It's kind of like the two are competing
Yeah, but
because
you know
they're
what?
on at the same
It's all
night.
about numbers, and OC is still being viewed a lot more. Dallas is actually the lowest on the viewers. I just saw the article.
It makes
last
me
week.
want to watch
Well,
Dallas
I mean,
a little
one
bit
of
more.
them has 12 seasons, one of them has 2. I mean, it takes a while to build an audience.
It's
kids.
true.
I mean,
It's
It
true,
does,
but the
but-
point is, that Dallas is really good, but
Yeah.
people are not viewing and tuning in as much.
yeah, I know, and they should if they want their housewives fixed. They
For real,
should.
because Lian,
Yeah.
she is putting it down.
Yeah, I know. I just feel bad
she
when I
does.
hear. I feel bad when I hear people dropping off the show. I mean, but I get it. But I mean, it's like this is why we need to make some type of a change. Anyway, what do you think about Shannon's future on the show? Leave a comment below. I want to know what the general consensus is.
Is it like this? Is it like
You know what
this?
we were saying last
I always
season?
look at the comments. I want to
We were
see.
saying last season how we needed more housewives because there was only a few last season. Now there's so many, but there's nothing going on.
No, they're not. Ugh.
Or maybe we're just not
At least
appreciating
Heather
the
would come in
drama. I don't know.
and be so entitled. She would give everyone
something to talk about.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I miss
Yeah.
it. I miss Heather.
We're gonna
I
get
do.
to see them all together, so let's not get too disappointed because they are gonna be seated all at one table all together. So there's a lot more to come though.
Yes.
Well, I want to say thanks to those in the live chat. You guys have been going.
Wonderful
Yes, I
tonight.
love it.
There's
Ooh,
sub
Tamra
25.
needs to go.
Mike Bowman, Piska, I think. Like, I'm so sorry. Charlie in charge. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing
yeah, you
your
guys
thoughts.
commented all the entire
Wonderful.
session.
You guys are
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so
Some
much.
Lian Locken fans in there as well.
I know. I like it.
Yes. Well, you guys keep up with us on all of our projects. Lian, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on all social media platforms at Hollywood Lian, and check out my YouTube channel this week. I'm going to have some new interviews, some new footage coming up.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Now that you're done with our Housewives show, check out my YouTube show, Your Time with Thomas. We're on episode 6. There's so much fun stuff in there. If you guys are not from LA, or if you are from LA, I take you around LA. We talk about fun topics like dating, friends, family, everything. Check it out. It's called Your Time with Thomas.
And I'm Blake V. You can listen to me on KCRW. And you can find me on all social media platforms at Blake V Media, and over on the blog following my yoga and wellness journey at blakevee.com.
And if you're looking for some fun and you want to hear about TV, we have the new fall preview. We're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta also on Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk, episode number 70, out today. Mark J. Freeman is on it from AfterBuzz, and James Lott Jr., another favorite here. So make sure you check out that show if you want something to listen to. We'll be back next week when we discuss a vasectomy party here at AfterBuzz TV.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.